Nice shirt, I like that.
Thank you. So in Vegas last week.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Michael, you want to play that?
Michael Conti's ScreenSlam.
Anytime you're ready.
Charlie, you're playing a real man, a historical figure who was obsessed. What was driving him? What was his obsession?
I think it was twofold. He had to endure a lot of shame in the early part of his life because of some of the ways his father had conducted himself. He was born into a very well-to-do, very affluent, high-class British family, and yet his father was a rather degenerate gambler, drinker, womanizer, and had flitted away the family fortune and brought great shame on his family. So I think there was always a sense of a personal need to do something great to shake that shame off of the family name. But then also just a discontent and an anxiety brought on by society, which I think we can all sort of relate to in one degree or another. Freud said anxiety is the price we pay for civilization, and he felt that very acutely. And so I think there was a desire to get out of the constraints that he felt of regular society and spend a bit more time in the natural world. Which was a consequence of him trying to find this manifest this theory that he had that a very sophisticated civilization had once existed in the rainforest, which at that time was thought to be impossible, and yet he truly believed it. But I think even greater than that sense of purpose was the sense of peace and like that now feeling of life that he got from being in the natural world.
How challenging was it to shoot in the forest, in rainforest?
I mean, for me, there were challenges, certainly. I mean, it was very, very hot, and we were having to starve ourselves. We had to lose a lot of weight for this project on camera through the course of the film. But all of those challenges really aided in the process of shooting the film. I mean, it was a very demanding role for all of us, our roles in this film. But, in anything that you can do, or any time you can put yourself in an environment that reduces the amount of work you have to do as an actor, it's a huge benefit. And so, part of the thing was that these characters, what we had to play was the hardship of the exploration, which is starving and being dehydrated and scared of the environment. So if we were starving and dehydrated and ill at ease in the environment, then we didn't have to act those things. We just had to exist.
How did it compare to shooting Arthur?
Arthur was a very, very different experience because we shot a lot of that on a cushy, luxurious studio in London. Although there was a sense of adventure in Arthur too. We spent about 5 or 6 weeks out on location in the Highlands of Scotland and in Wales in Snowdonia National Park. So very, very different. But ultimately, if you're engaged in the work and feel a responsibility to the character you play to bring him to life in as vital and multidimensional way as possible, the process is always the same. It's being in touch with that character and trying to be identify the appropriate emotional response to whatever's going on, and on any given day use your skill set to try to manifest that, which is not easy. I mean, we all know that some days you feel happy and sometimes you feel sad and sometimes you feel engaged in your work and some days you don't, and yet with acting there's not really any room for having a bad day, because that bad day is going to be captured on film forever. So you want to try to be as focused and disciplined as possible to reduce the frequency with which you don't deliver, So that's the hardship of acting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.